As you can tell, it apparently rained today. Apparently, it was in the perfect direction to get right underneath the door. Good thing we got a drain, but... Oh, let's see. It's been a little while since we've done an update. We've got the decking replaced. This whole right side was pretty well cashed out. That left one, it wasn't too bad, but figured, hey, if we're going to go ahead and put decking on it, might as well go ahead and do it. Still went one short, didn't replace this panel here. I don't know. I mean, it's got a little rust stain on it, but hey, I think it's going to be good enough. And just mocking this front end up. This was the hood that was on it. The front nose, though, you know, back 2010, the noses were narrower. They were like 38-inch noses. This is closer to like 43, I think. So, you know, didn't have that. Had to go steal that from a old grill master. So, got that. And then I also didn't have doors and quarters as a pattern. So, I stole his doors and quarters. Well, they've added on to those too. So, you know, I can remember 2010, man, we thought them bodies were pretty good size whenever we did them then. But they've extended it even more now. And, you know, the whole side can be 10 foot long, 120 inches. This car here is like 111. So took his doors and quarters, kind of laid them up on there, kind of figured out where we wanted them at as far as the wheel well. Then just cut the length accordingly, you know, front and rear. I mean, yeah, it would have been a little nicer to have moved this point here. You know, you can come clear up to the back of the block now. I don't remember what the rule was back then, but now you can go. I mean, it was probably more of an affordable thing then, you know, just whatever they cut the body out of to get it out of whatever sheets, so we're not wasting a bunch of sheets. But nowadays we don't care about that, so we're all about how big the body is. So, you know, it could have came up probably another 6 inches, and then actually the door can come forward of the back of the block 6 more inches. So could have creeped that forward, but then of course we would have had I replaced this decking, but didn't really get into that, you know, and look at those rules, I guess, good enough. So that's kind of my bad, but I don't know. I mean, aerodynamics, but I mean, I don't know that it's worth the money to redo everything. We'd have had to take this bar out here. You know, we could have redid the top of the foot box and like come straight up and then out to plane. And, you know, it wouldn't have looked too bad. We could have pulled, I'm betting probably 6 more inches here. So we could have done that, but yeah. Over, done with now. Got the new decking on there. Maybe the next time we redo it for next year or something, we'll redo that. But as of right now, no, we're not going to do that. So I got the doors and quarters and everything. Got them all bent up. They're out in the back of side by side. Like I said, just kind of, and actually, this car, I was kind of surprised, really. You know, we're doing all this. Tucking the left side in, right side's out. You know, if you watch the UMP guys and stuff, when they really start messing with the bodies, they look goofier than heck. But they're moving that right side way out, moving this left side, left side in, right side out. So actually, this one was already done that way, and made it a little harder because they had angle in this back panel, so had to figure that out and get that thing back straight because we're not really supposed to do that. Got that. Now I just really need to nail down this decking, get the doors, quarters on. Maybe it'll kind of start to look like something. Get this nose figured out. I was kind of struggling there a little bit because just trying to figure out what the heights are and everything to see if the pattern off that other car is going to work. I mean, I would think it would. There's really not too much difference, I wouldn't think. You know, just kind of depends on where they hack the front stub off at, but you know, because that's the mounting point of your bumper, I guess. So and you got to contain this front nose within the bumper. So I'll get there, make some new panels up, get them in here. You know, may have to kind of rework them a little bit there, but then got the new master cylinders in there. I think I was working on that the last time, getting the brake lines, the new brake lines and stuff in. So got all that done up. Got all the hubs back on it, put the wheel bearing spacers in there. Let's see, I never did show those, but got the wheel spacings in the rear, got new seals in there, put the new brake calipers on. Nice big old line on there. So now these brakes, these spacers, because I messed up and was kind of thinking about a couple different things. I don't know where they're at now, but here they are. So yeah, you know, these here are the front ones, and I messed up, ordered the wrong ones the first time. These are actually for the metric spindle, and the reason why I was thinking about that and kind of lost track of where I was at, but the three-piece Pinto spindles is what they really call them, but they're a metric spindle, and I believe then they take these. So I had originally thought about maybe getting some three-piece spindles to put on there, because it is pretty nice to just be able to replace this arm here, you know, when you bend it. So I had thought about putting some one-piece spindles on it. They're like $120, but you'd have the option then to change this. But it also changes. I don't know if it's good, bad, or whatever, but you don't have all this bump steer in there. And like I said, I mean, I don't know if that really matters, because if you get it bumped back to right, then, okay, yeah, I've got spacers here, but, you know, on the other ones, the arm's down farther, so then you don't have all this spacer, but, I mean, you still got zero bump or whatever, so, I mean, it doesn't, half a dozen one, half a dozen the other, right? So, it doesn't really change anything there, just, it makes the fact that you can change his arm nice. So, ordered the wrong things, of course. So then that kind of took a little, you know, a couple days there to get the new ones in, the right ones. And got those on. And they're turning pretty good. This rotor, I don't know, seems like it's maybe got just a little tweakage in it. But, you know, that'll just keep the right front brake push stop off of it, right? I think. I don't know what ill effect that has otherwise, but so yeah, that's kind of where we're at on the gig. This body on this thing, and then get the motor, transmission in it. Hopefully get the gear back from Allison Automotive Repair. He's gonna hook me up this year and kind of help me out on that gig. So hopefully he get the gear, and we'll be ready to go racing. They've already started practicing, and they've actually started racing at some other tracks. Just some specials and stuff, you know. So points racing doesn't start weekly racing, I guess. I don't know. I've been told that we're not points racing, so we're weekly racing. So weekly racing doesn't start until the end of April, so got a little bit of time. I was kind of wanting to get rid of this 26-gallon cell, but haven't really had any luck at doing that. And then was really trying to decide if, you know, spending $250 on a new cell was really worth it. You know, the claim, but I don't know. Varying different stories, I guess. But 26-gallon cell, if you put 16 gallons in it, you know, then you're about right. And then you know, you're about 50 pounds of lead stuck on the car, and then the battery, right? But I kind of thought you'd have a fuel slosh problem, maybe. You know, supposedly you can't feel that, but that's not really to say that it's not back there, that it's not doing that, you know, trying to do a pendulum type effect or whatever. But I was really wanting to shorten. I wanted the tank to be shorter, and then I wanted to move the battery from off the right rear and then put it like up in front of the fuel cell. That way then everything was in line on the left side. Well, was struggling to do that because the 16-gallon cell, the ones I was seeing was it was same length, Same length, same width, just not as deep, you know. So I wasn't really going to gain me what I wanted to gain, but it would gain to where you wouldn't really have the fuel slosh problem because you just fill the cell completely full, 16 gallons to start the feature. And as you get fuel burn off, then, you know, you'd be down from there. But is what it is, I guess. Otherwise, I got this other bracket here from CPT. I've actually been really good to work with. You know, I had that rear end bracket. I kind of had a little harder time than what I thought it should have been to get it on there, but it turned out good. It wasn't too bad. Really just had to grind just a little bit on those brackets and get it in there. But this piece here is really nice. I actually messed up and ordered the 1.5 inch, which is what it is, but it was actually for the J-bar up front. So then the arc was wrong, you know, so, you know, it arcs into it. Well, that other one was arcing the other way, hence being turned around the other way. So I got a hold of them. You know, I'd already put it on the car kind of and was mocking it up on here. I said, hey, yeah, no problem. Send it back. We'll send you the right one. Get you all straightened up. So I did that. Got it back. Got the right one on there. Well, then, as you can tell, I got it loose on here right now. But, of course, it's trying to play games here with me. But, there. That's not too bad. But, the problem I have now I don't know why this thing does this, but okay, so yeah, the problem that I have though is you can kind of see that. Yeah, you can kind of see that right there. Well, look how that, you know, that's like a good 1/16. I don't know. It might even be, might almost be 1/8 of an inch, but it's definitely a good 1/16 to be pretty darn square. So whenever you get the bar actually attached on here, then it, let's see if we can just show it here real quick. That's probably, yeah, okay. Well, looks pretty darn close right there. Of course, yeah, the back's not tight because we're not tight, but you see that now? The Panhard bracket is actually turned in towards the bar. And I don't know, you know, got an index finger's worth. I don't know that that's really enough. I don't like it really. I'm questionable on if I should wait and get the car down on the ground, get the pinion angle set and all that. I mean, I think I'm close. I think I was close, I guess, on the pinion angle whenever I had the updates done, but I don't know that we're where we need to be at on the pinion angle. I'm not real sure that matters. All that's going to do is tip this bracket down. All it's going to do is swivel on these heims, right? So I don't know if that's really going to matter. I think we're still going to be really too close right here. And that was just a deal where this car had already started on it, right? And they had this underslung, because it is an overtail car. They had this underslung welded in there, and then they had this Panhard bar mounted in there. So whenever he went and did the spring locations and stuff, then, you know, he didn't really mess around with this. And then he had an old Panhard bar bracket, but it was kind of bent, so he threw it on there just to kind of get the car close, see where it was at. Well, then, of course, then I ordered this after the fact. And then now, you know, now that we're looking at stuff and trying to get everything lined up to get ready to go racing, then here we are, we're messed up. So I'm not real sure what I'm going to do to fix it. It's welded in big time now. You know, there, and down on this bar here. And then plus we've also already got this bracket brace welded in there. So, I don't know. Kind of getting close here to needing to do something, right? So, as we run out of time, I'm not real sure. What I had thought about doing was coming down here, cutting this off, this tube, come up here, cut this bracket here off, put a pipe wrench on this, and crank it. And then weld it back in, weld this here back in, but leave this. Now, I don't know, pipe wrench, strong back, weak mind, right? If you could get enough leverage on it to twist it. I'm sure that when it gets in a wreck, it's going to twist it pretty dang easy, but I don't know that I got enough oomph to be able to do that. So I'm not real sure. I mean, if I could get it to twist some, like we said, it's like a 16th here. Man, if this thing would move a little bit, this would look a lot better. So it's an option. I don't really like it. I'm not saying that I do, but I got to figure out something. It's either that or hack this freaking thing all the way back out of here, try to get it lined back up, bolt it on. And then, a lot of the cars, what they're doing now is they're making this to where this thing is, replaceable. So after you get in a wreck, like the Dirt Hustlers, that's what they're doing. Dirt Hustlers, they've got it to where that's a removable Panhard bracket here, the steel, so it's a coupling piece here, and then I think they got it some kind of a coupling piece up here, and this kind of fits in there. Essentially, that's probably really what this thing, what we should have, could have maybe tried to do. Make it to where it was a exchangeable, but now we're past that. Now, should we go ahead and do that? Should we make it exchangeable to where get hit in the right rear or whatever? From what I've heard is it's pretty common. And I think really what it deals with is running A-mods a lot of years, man. Never ever bent that piece. And I got in my fair share of carnage. Self-inflicted. Help. Whatever. But I think what it really comes down to is this is a straight shot. There you got the J-bar, so the J-bar must move a little bit. But here, from that point to here, if you get shot in that right rear, man, that's a direct point to here. And then you're just putting all kinds of force on this bracket, twist this bar, bend that bar, whatever. So it's definitely a point, that's different than what it is up on the front of the J-bar. So probably end up having it out of the car by the end of the year. But so that's kind of why I just think, hey, why not just cut it, try to twist it. If it'll twist, weld it back up, send it for now. And then the next time, knock the thing out of the car, then make it removable or whatever. So, but yeah. Like I said, that's kind of the update on the old girl. 2010 BR or TRE. It's nothing too exciting, but hopefully we're gonna get her going here pretty quick, and start making some laps and see what happens. Got to get this 602 crate in there. It's 602 crate in there. Got a Franzen 3-speed. So, it's got new bearing. They can't do a whole lot to the transmissions in these things because you still got rules to follow within, and how much money you're going to spend to get some gears lightened or whatever. That's pretty much about the only thing you'll be able to do, would be able to lighten some gears, maybe put some roller bearings in, ceramics. So this transmission doesn't have all that fancy stuff. It does have the cut rear tail shaft, that way you can run a long yoke. But other than that, it's really nothing too exciting. And get some new shocks on the old girl. These here are just pros, non-rebuildables. I'm kind of surprised really that Bone was running those, I guess, at that point in time, but that's what he's got on there. I don't even know where. Oh, I guess maybe the right front is laying in the pile. I don't know what it even is. Oh. Yeah. Let's get some zoomage on this. Let's get some focus. So, yeah, he's already ground the number off of it. I don't even know if that other number means anything. But yeah, just a Pro WB something or other. I believe this was the right front. I don't know if he's even got it marked as far as which one's which, blah blah blah. But just an old oil shock, nothing too exciting. I guess we never got a left rear for the car. Oh yeah, we do. It's right there. It's hanging on it. Left rear's hanging on it. I don't even know what it even is. Yeah, it actually does say TBLR1. It is marked. Yeah, she's got some umph on her. Right rear is actually a QA1, so I don't know where that thing came from. Some other projection, I assume. Must have been an update. But yeah, be kind of interesting just to run these things on the shock dyno just to see like what he had, where he was at on stuff. But let's see. Yeah. See that? Okay, yeah. TBRF1. Number 8025. So apparently he had him marked, but never said what the rates were or nothing. So it's kind of a weird deal, really. That, I mean, if you think about it, it's a non-rebuildable. So how did he really get like a special valving or anything like that? Because I guess maybe you just call Pro. Maybe Pro back in those days, they would just they'd valve it to whatever you wanted to valve it to, and then boom, sealed her up. I mean, as far as I know, I don't know. I'm not a shot guy, but I don't know. As far as I know, I don't think that's any kind of rebuildable. So I don't know. Like I said, it's just kind of an interesting deal more than anything. Not that I really care what shocks was on it, but you know, all this stuff comes around in circles. So what worked yesterday won't work today, but then 5 years down the road, then we're back trying it again. So everything makes kind of a circle. I mean, kind of like the roof, you know, we got a ton of rake on it. Well, then now what are they doing? They're making them things as flat as can be, you know, so you got more headroom. Plus you don't need the rake because we're trying to get all the air back to the spoiler. So flat, get it to the spoiler, but this was an A-mod car, so no spoiler on it. So at that point in time, we were trying to catch all the air on the roof, trying to get any kind of down we can get some big old sail panels on it. You know, all we could get up here on the roof, on the hood, all we could get on the front nose. I mean, it's a different game. You know, you add a spoiler back there, and then it kind of changes the rules, but and what you need to be doing. So I get there. I'm definitely thinking go a little flatter on the nose. Maybe not on the nose, but on the hood. Get the hood kind of down. We want this thing over on the right front, hard, standing the rear up. And I mean, that might be the only thing that gets us to a troublesome area is maintaining that deck height. And I know that's, you know, guys talk about that being a problem. So not really running these cars for quite a while. Never really worried about that too much. The rear deck height, I know we were always pretty darn close to it, but you know, we didn't really worry about it that much because we weren't running the light left rear spring deal. So now that we're running the light left rear spring, putting a ton of turns in it, you got to think about then, you know, put more bite in it. You're jacking the deck height up, so then, you know, we're going to have this thing to where it's got some adjustability as far as we need to lower the rear deck down. And I've seen on some of these guys' ads for the cars they're trying to sell now, they say deck's been lowered. And I think what that all comes down to is they're lowering the deck, the whole deck. You know, they're lowering it here, which would take quite a bit more work even yet. I guess, you know, if we were building this deck and we were going to move it forward, and like I said, that couple of inches here, you know, you'd actually lower that whole deck area, I think, like a couple inches here, and then lower it all the way back and get it lower in the tail. And then as you're jacking turns on that thing, then you're kind of coming back close to that deck height number. Now there's a minimum, but you know, you got to figure the only thing that's really going to hold you up there is your sail panels. Sail panels up to your roof, you know, that's your direct connection that is going to limit you as far as, hey, I need the deck to be lower or higher or whatever. So all things to be thinking about. It just takes a lot of thinking, and I've done it for a little while. I should have probably done some more measuring as far as to what my ride height was back here. You know, because the way they really measure the ride height is off the top of the rear end up to the bottom of the underslung. But what I really need to know is what it was like up to the bottom of that frame rail, and then I could come back here, measure up to my deck, and say, okay, you know, I'm at 40 whatever, and would get me close. The only thing is I don't know is how many turns I'm gonna have in the spring. I mean, you know, so yeah, it's all a learning gig right now. Hopefully once we get motor, transmission, and all that in there and get this thing closer to being race ready, then it'd be like, oh crud, I should have made the deck, you know, inch shorter or whatever, and got this thing to where we weren't getting ourselves in trouble back here on this rear deck height. But it is what it is. We'll get there. We got to remix some body, or after the first rack, we can just make it how I really want to be after that. But that seems to be the things that'll straighten or wreck your day. So anyways, that's kind of the update on this old girl. You know, hopefully we'll get out and get some racing. Try to kind of take a little bit better video. I know I really haven't done a very good job at videoing, like setting up the wheel bearings and stuff like that. Just been trying to kind of get the car ready, rock and roll. I haven't really had the time to videotape those things, and I mean, they're all real good, you know, but there's a lot of videos and stuff on YouTube already currently of how to set up those wheel bearing spacers and stuff. So kind of just held off on that, and like I said, just trying to get the car to where we can get going. Still trying to work on the pit, trying to get it going too, so we kind of got a dual action thing going on there. And then of course we're still doing stuff with side-by-side, and Crazy Cairo, he's building a cheap side-by-side, and it's actually looking kind of cool, but just trying to get all the video and stuff from him to get those videos going. And that's about the extent of the craziness around this joint, is trying to get videos from him and trying to get a race car and a house kind of finished up. But of course it's raining out there right now, so that doesn't really affect us because we're not supposed to be racing this weekend. But they are supposed to be having a big late model 410 sprint deal at Lee County Speedway this weekend. Be kind of cool. Just go out and watch, get the old racing itch and you know, motivation to go ahead and get on this thing and get this thing finished up and So it's hard to say. Might try to get up there, but we'll see how that goes. And like I said, the end of the month is pretty much what we're looking for as far as some weekly racing. And really just got to get some measurements here, get some decals cut up for this thing, and try to pull this thing all together in one fell swoop. But sometimes that works out, and sometimes that's a fail. That's why we're just weekly racing. We're not points racing, because you miss a week and you're pretty much out of that deal. I mean, if you can run every week, you're going to get probably a top 5 nowadays. You know, back in the day when it started there in the late 2000s, I mean, even in the 90s when I was going as a kid, not actually racing, but when you couldn't show up on a weekly deal and be top 5 in points. I mean, pretty much almost everybody was points racing. So it was a deal where everybody showed up, everybody ran. So you had to be good. You had to run good. And I'm not a consistent enough guy to do very well in points, because I have off nights. You know, it's a records or checkers kind of type deal, or miss a night or whatever. And that puts you out of those games. So never have really. I think like maybe 3rd place in points is probably about the highest I've ever been. And just didn't really ever try to worry about winning a points championship or something like that, just because to me, I want to go out there and try to win the race. If you can't win, you know, try to finish the best you can. But if you got to put her up next to the wall and kiss it a few times and that ends your night, so be it. You know, you're not playing it safe really to try to points race. So just kind of live on the edge and run it however hard you can run it. Well, that's the difference between a guy that points races and a guy that's just trying to go for some wins, right? Not to say that I'm out there winning a bunch of races either, but so. Anyways, try to get you another update here. We'll get this body on, get the doors, quarters on it. Should be looking pretty good on that point, and then try to get that nose, hood, and got to do a roof. And the roof gig, I don't know, never done a roof before. Always just ordered them from Performance Bodies, got them in. That's kind of not a real cost-effective deal. You know, that roof's like $140, something like that. So, you know, you can buy a whole sheet of aluminum for $85, break it and stuff yourself. So, and you're cutting that in half. So, if you're buying an $85 sheet, then yeah, you know, $40. You can build the roof and have it done, have it however you want to have it. But I've never done that before, so that's going to be a learning experience. But we'll get through that and get this bad boy making some laps. So thanks for watching. I mean, some of the stuff is not the most exciting stuff, I know, but it is what it is. Follow the channel. We try to do some cool stuff. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But like I said, check them other videos out too. That the cheap side-by-side one, we should be getting some more videos on there, some more episodes of that, and kind of get you showing where he's at right now. And we still got to finish up this freaking junk tractor. I know there's at least one guy on there watching that because he's got the same exact problem. So hopefully we'll get to that. Yeah. Check you later. Subscribe, like, dislike, whatever you got to do. Later.